New York City mayor's race. By all indications, it's over. Early voting starts next week. There's a debate on Wednesday. The New York Post single-handedly is trying to hold Mamdani accountable for controversies, etc. The Washington Post and New York Times are running pieces about how cool he is, how much he's charmed people, about how what a great coalition he's built. Here's a new poll, 113, showing if it's effectively a two-person race. New York Post calls it a bombshell. It's within the margin of error. Cuomo is much closer than he's been in two new polls than he was previously. Now, Sliwa may still get out of the race, I'm told, but even if he doesn't, Cuomo's theory is his vote total will go down so low that it will effectively be a two-person race. Here's a fired up Andrew Cuomo on Morning Joe this morning, 120.
So it's not a new issue. They're right about the problem. The rent is too darn high, but he has no real solution. You know, these are gimmicks, these are slogans, and freeze the rent is his answer, which is there's no such thing. You have to build affordable housing. It's supply and demand. We have a 1% vacancy. And if you don't build housing, the rents are going to go up. And that's shame on you, Democratic Party, because you haven't delivered. The Democratic Party, I think the two main issues, they have become disconnected from mainstream working families who were our base, my father's base, Bill Clinton's base, President Obama's base. We're not at their kitchen table, number one. And number two, we don't produce.
Dan, is the opera over and the fat lady has sung, or is she just still warming up and there's still time for a surprise new act?
I mean, until the election happens, there's always time. I'll just say, where has that Andrew Cuomo been? I mean, you had a debate the other night, like, and by Andrew Cuomo standards, that's passion. And I think his argument's a pretty darn good one. Look, you never say never. That poll post has a lot of like, if the electorate's like 2021, which I don't think it will likely be, you know, Slee was going to, I think, make the argument Cuomo should drop out. He's only a few points behind Cuomo. You never say never. I do still think that a lot of New Yorkers have not fully, you know, dialed into this. And when they sober up, it is possible that people just say at the end of the day, I'm not going to do this. I don't mean they're drunk, but like their just lives are busy, you know? Yeah, rhetorically speaking.
So two quick points. One, the idea that we in Virginia have been allowing early voting for weeks. In New York, a liberal state, a liberal city, hasn't even started. Again, reminds me how ridiculous and out of hand early voting has gotten. It's insane that it starts this early. That's my PSA on that. Here's the only scenario in which I will say that there's a possibility. If Mamdani were to get taken down, Cuomo needs to go to Sliwa, and promise him, make a deal where he's in the cabinet, give him something, director of public safety, overseer of all guardian angels. Okay.
Kitty cats. He's boss of all kitty cats.
Because here's why. The idea of Sliwa dropping out, there's enough Republicans like me that still would not vote for a Democrat. Okay. So what you would have to do is to say, Sliwa would have to go out and say, I'm not only endorsing Cuomo, but when you vote for Cuomo, you're kind of voting for me because I will be part of that administration. I'm going to have a seat at the table. And therefore you can have a clean conscience and vote. But the only way this works, it's not just drop out. Drop out will get you most of Sliwa, but it can keep you 5, 6, 7% of Republicans that want to commit their civic duty but will never vote for a Democrat. If you can believe that you are actually still voting for Sliwa because he's made a deal with Cuomo, then it works. That's the only scenario in which I possibly believe that there could be a different outcome. Otherwise, welcome Mayor Mamdani.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.